now for today's big deal. I'm sitting here with the one and only Ed Harrison, and we are talking about Finland. Big news out of Finland that we heard today. The Finnish government is apparently drawing up plans to give every single one of its citizens a basic income of 800 euros a month, or just over $800 a month. Huge money. Planning to do this in place of some benefits. Prime Minister Juha Sipilä, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, has already been quoted as supporting the plan because it will, quote, simplify the social security system. And we all would love to just simplify that very complex system. But Ed, what's interesting is that we were talking about this earlier, and we were thinking about guests that we've talked to about this very topic. And one of them is libertarian economist David Henderson. We sort of had him weigh in on this debate of basic income. And we basically posed to him, we said, either if you could have one of two scenarios, either live with the status quo of a minimum wage and social programs, or eliminate them and replace them with a basic income. He didn't like either, but we forced him to answer the question, and I want our viewers to take a listen to what he had to say.
If I have to choose, and I don't like that choice, I would say a basic income, but a very small number. And of course, it depends how many of those other programs we're eliminating. The point is that I want to, A, save money for the general taxpayer, and B, retain incentives. So if you have some basic income that's low and you don't have a phase out, you can have very good incentives because you make an extra dollar and you pay just normal taxes on it. You don't lose some of your basic income. But the kind of number we're talking, because I've run those numbers, the kind of number we're talking where it doesn't increase the size of government is probably something like $3,000 or $4,000 per person per year. And so that doesn't quite do it in giving people even a poverty level of income if they don't do anything else.
So he went with basic income,
Yeah.
and the question is, you know, why a libertarian would support this idea of government giving thousands of dollars to its citizens for free.
It is an interesting proposition, you know, and it's one thing that seems to unite liberals and libertarians for different reasons. And I think, you know, a lot of what he said goes to some of the basic reasons. He talks about incentives to work and not skewing incentives to work, so keeping the number down very low. But what it boils down to is that if you can eliminate a slew of government programs, reduce the size of government, he as a libertarian is in favor of that, even if that means giving some money, because that will give freedom to people to do things that they otherwise wouldn't do. I mean, you know, if you lose your job, you don't have to prove that you were in a job that's eligible for unemployment insurance. If you quit your job, same thing, that you can just use the basic income. And I think that those are the kinds of things that are attractive to someone who sees government as being too big.
Okay, well, let's compare this to the Finnish model. I mean, why would a country like Finland be so attracted to doing this? Well, why would it work for them?
You know, the True Finns, one of the parties that's part of the government, they are very much sort of the libertarian ilk and so forth. And I think that really David Henderson, the things that he was talking about are exactly the kinds of things that they talked about in terms of why they wanted to do it. Now, obviously, he talked about $300 and $400. Or actually $3,000 and $4,000 a year. They're talking about $800 a month. So that's more like, you know, 2 or 3 times as much as he's talking. But generally, it's in the ballpark of where he is, in that it's lower than you know, poverty levels. And what they want is they're looking to have it so that, you know, every citizen gets a tax-free payout, and it replaces all other benefits, just like he was saying. So it reduces the size of government, and it's low enough so that people are not incentivized to not work. In fact, I read about their specifically saying that they didn't want to encourage more people to not go back to work, because it's believed now that people are refusing to go to work because they would lose welfare if they took up sort of part-time jobs.
So we understand that this is going to replace some social programs, but the question is, what does this mean for the minimum wage? Does it go away?
Yeah, so it means that the minimum wage would be no longer, and you know, like in the United States, we're talking about a $15 minimum wage in some places. In Europe, in a lot of the richest countries, it's about $9 to $12 in terms of their minimum wage, and the basic income would essentially be about the same if you worked a part-time job, say 20 20 hours a week, it would equate to about $10 an hour that you would be getting as a part-time person.
I mean, is that the smartest way to go, though, to eliminate the minimum wage? It seems a little draconian, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen studies, and actually Dean Baker, he wrote about this 2 or 3 years ago. If you have a modest increase in the minimum wage, it really is very equivocal in terms of the effect. There's no real effect, and that's because employers can achieve the same ends through other ways, increasing productivity, reducing non-wage income, reducing hours, all sorts of things that they can do. So it really doesn't have the effect that it's supposed to have, which is in terms of actually reducing the number of workers. They're looking to increase employment, and that's why they want to do this.
Now, I get the sense something like this would never fully get the green light in the U.S., but you got to tell me, I mean, what do you know about how, what people are saying about this in Finland? Are they going for it?
So it does have a chance because 69% of the Finnish population favor it. And you mentioned that the Prime Minister also favors it. So I think that the world is going to be watching this because this is a huge experiment and it is something that they favor.
A huge experiment. We will all be watching. Very cool stuff. Ed Harrison, thanks for weighing in. We love hearing from you guys. Tweet at all of us. Edward NH, Bianca Fascini, Amira David. Remember, you can see all the segments featured in today's show on YouTube, youtube.com/BoomBustRT. From all of us here at Boom Bust. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.